Alright, so why do you want my arm down here again?
Hey, don't worry about it. Oh, look, a plane.
What?
Have you ever wondered what would happen if you mixed Mythbusters with The Walking Dead? We are Zombie Go Boom, filmmakers and zombie survival enthusiasts. Using our scientifically accurate zombie heads, we put retail weapons, homemade weapons, and everyday objects to the test in order to see what will save you during the zombie apocalypse. Survive, protect, and kick undead ass.
Hey, what's up, survivors? Welcome to another mind-blowing episode from the bloodiest show on YouTube, Zombie Go Boom. I'm Chuck Murray.
I'm Charles Foltz.
And today we have another The Walking Dead extravaganza. That's right, we're going to be testing out Merle Dixon's prosthetic limb with a knife on it. This one was created by Matthew Dawes from Ironclad Industries. It's really badass, so let's find out a little bit more about it by taking a look at the tail of the tape. The Lil Merle, or Mel Dixon's knife hand prosthetic bayonet. Created by Ironclad Industries' Matthew Dawes, this monstrous 9-pound or 4-kilo stump accessory has been shown to kill zombies left and right on The Walking Dead. But how will it do in real life? This intimidating pirate pal is 14 inches of mild carbon steel with a 9-inch or 23-centimeter half-hollow ground refurbished leaf spring blade. The wearer can wield it by either strapping it on or by holding the metal bar on the inside of the weapon. So, did Merle Dixon have a chance to survive the Zombpoc with the help of Lil Merle, or did AMC get it wrong? Only one way to find out. So, Charles the Executioner Foltz, what is your plan of attack?
Well, Chuck Murray, we're going to start out with some thrusting attacks. First, we're going to do an uppercut to the chin, then we're going to go in through the eyeball, then we're going to go in through the temple, and then after that, we're going to do some slashing and some bludgeoning attacks.
Alright, so good strike, not a kill, because it's not a particularly great attack. And for specifics on that, Charles?
Well, first of all, you're fighting gravity making that attack, okay? So you're wasting energy. Plus, it's extremely easy to miss such a small target. And third, if you get stuck here, I'm just gonna push it back in there. If you get stuck here, the zombie is gonna have arms. He's gonna be pulling you into him to try to bite you. And he's not gonna get tired. I'm gonna get tired of one, fighting the zombie, and for another thing, holding this thing up. So if you get stuck in the zombie with this thing, you're pretty much dead.
And that's a good point about fighting gravity, especially because that particular weapon is so heavy. You kind of want to utilize this for its strengths. One of them is the fact that it's incredibly massive. So you want gravity to help you. You don't want to go against gravity, you know, because it is so heavy. Not only that, but in that particular strike, you're not just trying to get through the skull. You're getting through the skin, you're getting through a bunch of flesh, and then finally, you get to meet the skull and try to punch through it. But by the time you get to that, there's already been so much resistance put against your strike with the gravity and the flesh that you have to get through that you just don't have enough power to get through the skull past that. So, if you're a person, this is devastating. If you're a zombie, you're totally fine, and actually, as a zombie, you're in really good position to make a meal out of the person that just attacked you.
Yeah, so let's try some other attacks. Let's try to go in through the eyeball.
Ooh, that sounded pretty,
That sounded like...
nasty.
Oh, there's blood.
There's blood? Hell yeah. Ooh, that sounded pretty, nasty. Hells yeah. Alright, we got some blood. That means it punched through the orbit and into the cranial cavity. Let's see how much. You want to try to measure that? Okay, so we only got about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches in penetration, but that's enough to actually punch into the orbit. I would say that this is probably a kill. It went in definitely far enough to put a little bit of bone inside of the cranial cavity, which means the entire frontal lobe is compromised. I would say this is probably a kill. There's a chance that the zombie survived. There's a chance that a human could have survived this, but not a very good one.
Even if you think that it is a kill, you would want to go ahead and do a double tap.
Yeah, and a double tap would just completely annihilate this thing.
Oh yeah. All right, now let's go for the temple and see if that works.
Dang!
Well, I missed the temple, but I think that's a kill.
Okay, so this is actually a good thing, the fact that Charles missed. It means that you don't have to be as accurate as you would like to be, because it's able to punch through something that's much thicker and much denser than the temporal bone. Right now we're around the parietal bone area, and it still managed to punch about how far in? Yeah, that's a good 2.5.
2.5, 3 inches.
Yeah, so I mean oh man, yeah. Let me open this up for you guys so that you can really see the damage.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a big hole.
That is straight into the cranial cavity, thick skull, but it didn't matter. That weapon was able to get through this pretty easily. How hard did you have to go?
Oh, I just thrusted with my body, and the weight of the weapon itself just crunched right through it.
Yeah, that's right. Mass times acceleration equals force. There's a lot of mass in that, so you don't actually have to accelerate it too much.
Right.
And the blade is very well tapered, and it has a very sharp point. So that helps because the energy isn't being displaced through a large surface area. It's actually a very small surface area that is being all targeted into, which is why the orbital shot worked, which normally, that doesn't work with a very wide weapon. But I think the point really helps on this thing.
Yeah, that and the weight of it, for sure.
So what are we going to be doing next?
Well, next we're going to be doing some slashes to the top of the head.
Anything? Oh yeah.
It cut into the skull slightly, but I don't think it got in far enough to do any real damage. Maybe caused a headache.
Yeah, you want and maybe some brain damage. I mean, there's a chance that the brain would have rattled inside of there, and maybe it caused some kind of a concussion or something.
Yeah,
You want to try it again? Maybe give it a little bit more.
I'll try it again.
All
Yep. I gave it a little bit more power, but that actually transferred to my arm right here, and kind of, I kind of felt it. All right.
Let's do it again. All right, so we tried that strike 3 times. All 3 times it was a fail, partly because this is one of our old heads, the last of our old heads that were thicker and stronger. than the ones we currently use. Way, way thicker and stronger than a regular human skull. And secondly, this blade is really broad, so there's a lot of resistance when it goes to actually it going in. So right now the thrust, weirdly enough, is the best attack, but we're gonna try having Charles go crazy, which equals to chopping, slashing, and potentially some bludgeoning, and we'll see what happens. Badass metal working weapon, really heavy stuff, great welding, well made. If you want to see more weapons like that, please make sure you subscribe to Matt Doss at Ironclad Industries. That guy's amazing, and now he's making a really crazy short film type thing with Z-Not Alpha, so it's a lot of fun. You should definitely check out his channel, definitely subscribe to him. He deserves more subscribers than he has. That said, this weapon is really badass, but it didn't actually perform as well as we would like it to. A few reasons why is because this is, again, one of our old kind of skulls, which were a lot thicker and a lot tougher than the ones we currently use. It would be probably twice as hard to kill a zombie that was like this than a zombie that would actually resemble what a real zombie would be, which would be the toughness and density and hardness of an actual human skull as opposed to this crazy thing. But either way, it did manage to get through it to the point that it launched the cranial cavity all the way down there. But what do you think are some of the problems with this particular weapon?
Well, it's heavy, for one thing, and it wasn't made for my fist. You know, it wasn't custom made for me. So the inside is pretty hard to grasp. There's a little bar that goes across on the inside here, and it's a little too far forward, so I'm having to grip it like this. and so I can't get a full fist on it, you know. So it lessens the power transference to the end of it, and it lessens the control. It takes a lot of energy to use, unless you're doing stabs. If you're doing stabs and thrusts, all you got to do is lunge into it with your body and maybe do a little bit of a twist with your hips. But other than that, I don't think this weapon would be a great weapon to use in the apocalypse.
Yeah, it's okay. And, you know, like I said, if we had had a head that more closely resembled what a real zombie would be like, then the bludgeoning strikes and the slashing strikes would have been better. What I was surprised with was the amazing ability of this weapon to actually thrust. And yeah, that's how you would want to wield it. You just punch zombies left and right, and you could definitely kill one. As far as the thrusting ability of this weapon is concerned, it definitely gets the ZGB seal of approval. Everything else probably gets the ZGB seal of approval because it does work. But none of it gets the overkill seal of destruction, even though it looks like an overkill kind of weapon. And that's not anything against Matt. This thing was constructed very well. It had, as far as this particular weapon is concerned, it was made as well as you could possibly make it. The problem is the design of the weapon in particular. Merle Dixon's design just would not work in the apocalypse. The blade is too straight, it's too thick, it's hard to grasp. Obviously his is actually strapped onto him. He's not holding on because he doesn't have a hand, which would actually make it harder for Merle Dixon than it was for Charles, you know what I mean?
I will say this though, I would not want to fight somebody who is wearing this thing because it is so heavy and bulky, and it's just going to be a hard weapon to stop if someone's attacking you with it.
Absolutely. And as far as the making of this weapon, the person that built it, Matthew Dawes and Ironclad Industries, they have the Zombie Go Boom seal of approval all day long. In fact, he has the Overkill seal of destruction because he has created some ridiculously amazing stuff, more of which we will be testing on the channel soon, including, that's right, he made that chest plate right there, which we've been using since forever. So again, please make sure you give Matt some love. He deserves it. Now, as far as the design of the weapon itself, which is more The Walking Dead, the TV show's problem, is that particular design does not actually get the ZGB seal of approval. It's just not a very good design for killing zombies. It would be good for maiming people, like Charles said, but zombies, not so much. Though the thrusts were pretty good.
Yeah.
But I guess that's all we have with this mind-blowing episode from Zombie Go Boom. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you subscribe and punch the living crap out of that like button because that really helps. I love you guys. Chuck Murray.
Charles Fultz.
We will see you next time.